Hi, so it's been a week. Hopefully you've had a chance to go through all of the workouts on your first phase. Okay, this video is a pretty important one. I just want to talk about all the information that's written at the start of your workouts. It's always going to be written there. I just think it's really important to go over. So we're going to go over that as well as some of the fundamentals of your training. Okay, so first up is progressive overload. Progressive overload is the fundamental which overrules all training, or at least it should. Okay. It is a way of designing your workout or performing your workout time after time and improving. Okay, as simple as that. So the most common way of progressive overload that people think of is adding weight. So adding a weight to the same exercise for the same amount of sets and reps next time you do it. Okay, that part is up to you. Okay, I write progressive overload into the training phase by phase, whether it's by complexity of exercise, manipulating the sets and reps and rest time, and so forth. But during each phase, it's important that you're trying to progress by lifting more weight with each exercise. Now, I don't want you to sacrifice technique, okay? So only progress the weight when you have control over it, okay? And sometimes that might mean that you progress the weight for the first or second set, but then you can't quite lift that weight for the same reps on the third set, so you need to drop the weight down. That's fine. You've still progressively overloaded those first two sets, so you've made progress. Okay, so it's a super important one. Don't just go through the motions. Okay, speaking of going through the motions, second up is the mind-muscle connection. Hugely underrated in the fitness industry, and it's actually one of the things that is most proven in the research. Okay, there's no doubt about it. Thinking about the muscle and the exercise that you're doing when you're doing it will create more muscle fibers activated and will help you perform the exercise better. Okay, so you'll be able to lift more weight, you'll be more conscious of your technique, and it's easy to get into a habit of going through the motions of an exercise and not actually thinking about what you're doing. I can't emphasize enough how important that is. Okay, so mind-muscle connection. Make sure your brain is thinking about what you're doing. Another one, tempo. Okay, tempo is written at the start of each workout, and I just want to go over it in case you're confused about it. So I've written it as a ratio. Say, for example, one exercise has in brackets 3:1. Okay, that 3 indicates the eccentric phase of an exercise, the lowering phase. Okay, so it's the phase when you're traveling with the weight or you're traveling with gravity. Okay, the next digit is the concentric movement. Okay, that's when you're moving against gravity or against the weight. Okay, and generally that's done quite quickly. I'm a big fan of speed when you're going against the weight. So for example, if you've got an exercise that's 3:1 ratio, you're going to lower for 3 seconds, 1, 2, 3, and you're going to lift fast for 1 second. That's your tempo. Okay. Now, if it's written 4:1, 5:1, obviously that means you're just slowing that eccentric phase, the lowering phase. Okay. Occasionally you'll come across exercises where I'll ask you to pause, and that will be written with an asterisk saying 3-second pause at the top. Okay, so what that would mean is you lift as normal, hold for 1, 2, 3, and then lower slowly. Okay, so pay attention to those, and I hope now that they make sense to you if you see them written under each exercise. They're another way of manipulating progressive overload. Okay, tempo. Okay, slowing down a movement increases the time under tension for your muscles, and that's why I use it. Okay, and so you do need to pay attention to it. Okay, alternative exercises, I have been over these before, but I just want to reiterate, at the end of the workout you'll see an exercise written as end of workout. Everything underneath that is an alternative exercises, so you don't need to do those exercises as well as the main program. Those alternative exercises are just in case you can't do any of the main exercises in the program. So say you're not confident doing a bench press, or maybe it's a busy gym, you don't have access to it. Scroll down to the end of the workout and you should see something like a press up written as an alternative exercise. So we'll say press up with an asterisk, alternative to bench press, and you go about doing that instead of the bench press. Okay, it's like a fail safe if you're not confident or for busy gyms. So I hope that helps. As always, if you've got any questions about this, send me a message, and yeah, get to it.